It is the week of Thanksgiving, and here at Bushwhackers, we are feeling very grateful and thankful for what we have, this podcast, and we are here with another episode of Off Trail with Luke and Chandler. I'm Luke.
I'm Chandler.
And this is Off Trail. So we're here. We're back in studio. It's the week of Thanksgiving. We thought we'd be a little festive with the topic today. We're going to be talking about gratitude. Before we get into all that, we first need to mention that BDOTES producer has a light now.
I do.
He earned his light privileges.
He did, yeah.
He's been doing such a great job here at Bushwhackers as our producer that we decided we need to get him a light. So
Yeah.
It feels very nice.
yeah, we realized that we were kind of doing him dirty with the camera on him being so dark and grainy. And we're like,
Hidden in the shadows.
yeah, he needs to come out more.
That's how we prefer him, but we figured he
Yeah,
earned it. So
yeah. We're a high production studio here, so we
Yeah.
can't let him go like that.
Right. Speaking of the shadows, we have our first live audience member.
We do.
Yeah.
BDOTES, who do we have today?
We have Courtney.
Hello, everybody.
Courtney Hasseltine is in studio today. Courtney, how are we doing?
So good. So good. Oh, okay, the microphone. Yeah, I'm good. Just got back out on the road after taking a little time off the last month, and feels good to be back west. Feels good to be here.
Yeah, so she's joining us today, the first live audience member we've ever had. So that's kind of
it's kind of fun.
neat.
Yeah.
It's not something we planned for, but hey, we're gonna roll with it and see who she does. She's not gonna have a mic or a camera on her, so this is just the one shot you get of her with
That's
BDOTES.
it.
So
That's all I need, though.
yeah, you'll never see her again. She's gone. So
Any final words?
Nope. That's it.
All right, go back to your shadow.
obviously we're having way too much fun here. This is unscripted, so we're just rolling with it. But before we get into the main topic of the episode, let's just take a quick minute. If you are watching this video on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to our channel and leave a comment, like the video, all that stuff. Today we're going to be talking about gratitude. If you want to leave a comment about what you're grateful for, we'd love to hear that.
Yeah.
If you are listening to the audio-only version, we're on all major podcasting platforms, so find us there. Leave a 5-star review. Make sure you tell us that you're grateful for us and what we do with the podcast, because why wouldn't you be? But yeah, so I think that's it. So today we are going to talk about the idea of gratitude. And again, this is kind of leading up into the holiday of Thanksgiving. It's a time, a lot of reflection, think about what you're thankful for. Hopefully you get to spend the time with family. I'm going back to Georgia, to see my family. My parents moved down there recently, so
Yeah. Every time you say you're going to Georgia, I forget that your parents moved. So I'm like, what are you going to Georgia for?
yeah, it's kind of weird because I can't say I'm going home
Yeah.
anymore, and so it's a little different,
Yeah.
but it'll be fun. So it's just the time of year where you start to think about, or hopefully you think about this stuff a little bit more. But we're gonna try and lead into some ideas here that maybe you can implement more in your daily life and not wait till one time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get into this idea of gratitude. It is something that I have kind of practiced for a very long time. I don't know about either of you guys or Courtney, but I can't remember exactly when I got into it, but it's been at least 5 or 6 years that I kind of started to weave this into my life. But I can tell you firsthand, it is one of the most life-changing things that you will ever do with, just your mindset and everything, is trying to implement a daily practice or a weekly practice, whatever it is, of recognizing the things that you have in your life that you are grateful for, or the things that are going good in your life. There's lots of ways you can kind of go about this, I tie it a lot to the practice of mindfulness as well. I think they're very symbiotic. But the practice of gratitude is something that I think a lot of people need to think more about and try to, put into life. I don't know if either of you guys have any experience or practice with trying to implement gratitude?
Yeah, like my whole life is kind of I've always really tried to keep this idea of gratitude in the back of my head. Not to get into a lot of details, but like growing up, I had a rough childhood, and I had a lot of really awful things happen, like my family and stuff growing up, and coming out of that, I've always tried to live my life with this perspective of life could be so much worse, and I'm so grateful for all the things that I have. And it's just really helped me to have just a good attitude about life. I don't really spend a lot of time complaining about things just because I don't feel like I have to. I don't feel like I have things to complain about, because I really do just think that like life could be really bad, and it's really not. And I have a lot of great people, and I have a lot of great opportunities in life, and so it's been really great to keep that in the back of my head.
Yeah, I think, you mentioned like it kind of changes the way you approach everyday living.
Yeah.
In a way,
Absolutely. Yeah.
We all go through bad things, no one has had just the perfect life, but you start to think about these things on a more regular basis, and you start to realize like maybe life can suck to some degree right now, but you still have a lot of great things that are going on. Obviously, you're alive in some capacity, so like that's right off the bat. That's a good thing you got going for yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're taking a breath every morning. Like there's a lot of good things like that, but sometimes it takes just a little bit more of a targeted practice, and taking some time in your day to really step into that mindset and consciously do it until it becomes, second nature in a way. The first way that I ever started to do this was when I was kind of looking into the idea of mindfulness, and there's a practice in that. I forget what the name of it is called, but literally, like you just like walk around, And I was doing this on campus at school, so it was a little easier too. You walk around, and it's every person you see, just in your head, you think, "I hope you're doing great today." It's like just kind of bringing positive vibes into your mind. Obviously, you don't know these people. I didn't know anyone I was passing, but it's a way of just trying to bring some positivity into your life, hoping well for others. I think it's a practice of loving kindness, if I remember correctly. But it's a way of just like trying to focus on the good things. Yeah. For yourself, for other people, like that's a great way to start. The second thing I did was, and I still have this now. I mean, I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years. On my phone, 3 times a day, at 7:30 a.m., at noon, and at 5:30 p.m., I have a notification that comes up on my phone that it's a question that says, "What are you grateful for?" And so every single day, 3 times a day, I am prompted with the question of what am I grateful for. Now, I don't always just like sit there and be like, "Oh, what am I grateful for?" Because again, I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years now.
Yeah.
But it's like you do that for years, every single day, and it's almost like that has just become ingrained in me, and it's something I don't even think about anymore. It's just my natural state of being. It's like, oh, I just I live a very kind of grateful life now.
Yeah.
And it's done wonders for me.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's such an easy way that you can start to get that into your life. Just again, a little notification on your phone. I have to look at the app. I think it's just like daily reminders or something. It's it's a free app.
Yeah.
But it's a super easy way. You can just try to be a little better about that stuff. But go ahead. Will you say something?
I would say, like, I know, like, growing up, I had always heard of people talk about taking time in, and this more goes into like the habit of journaling. I've never been a very good journaler. Like I've journaled before, and I've kept a, I guess, not really consistent journal throughout my life, but like I'll go like a week, and then I'll stop for like 4 years, and then go
that's
like
like
a
most
week,
people.
you
That
know?
even I'm the same way. Like I was really good about it before, and then I moved to Utah, and suddenly I'm just doing a lot more things. I'm not home nearly as much.
You get busy, life
and it's like,
catches up.
wow, I totally forgot about this for 4 months.
Yeah, but in the habit of journaling, really taking the approach to, while you're journaling, look at it through, or I guess take time to reflect on the things you're grateful for every day. And every day, obviously write down whatever is going on throughout the day, whatever you want to journal about, but then make sure you highlight the things that you're grateful for. So
yeah, and a journaling practice obviously doesn't have to be geared towards gratitude. You can journal about anything you want.
Yeah.
Things you got going on in life, your emotions, whatever. Like, it's a great thing to do on its own. But a lot of people also do just a straight up gratitude journal. And I did this for a little while, probably for a year or so. And what that looked like for me was literally every single day writing 3 things I was grateful for. Every day. Didn't matter what it was. And it could be, again, something as small as like, I am grateful for like the air that I breathe today. Like that's, it seems small and like, kind of like, oh, well, why is that really even a good thing? It's like, yes, like it's an amazing thing. And eventually that morphed into just like, whenever I had a thought like that, I'll just write it down. It wasn't like, oh, strict 3 times a day. It's If I have something, I'll throw it in there.
Yeah.
You know, and eventually over time you build up this journal that has a bunch of thoughts like that. And I tell you, like, you go back and read that, you're like, wow, this is really cool. Like, you start to realize you have a lot that you can be really grateful for when you've never even like realized that before. Again, to be breathing, for the food that you could eat. Like, there's so many things, just a smile from a stranger. Like, there are so many things that, you know, if you take the time to recognize in your daily life that you have previously gone unnoticed, like, they can start to really change like who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And it's such a powerful thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The other way, like, you can do it too, is, you know, every single day, think about and write down like 3 good things that happen. So it's a little different, like, oh, I am grateful for this. It's like, just notice 3 good things that you did, you know, and they can be as small or as big as you want. You know, maybe you accomplished some major project at work. Awesome. Great for you. Maybe you didn't have that happen in a day. Maybe getting out of bed in the morning was a win, and that's a great thing. If so, write it down. But it just starts with small steps like that. You don't have to, it's not some giant leap into the deep end of gratitude to try and get this habit started. It's just day by day doing some consistent work to build it into your life where it can start to become something that will change you over the long term.
Yeah, I like that.
So, you know, with this episode, I thought it'd be fun if the 3 of us can kind of share a few things that we are grateful for. We'll do 2 things each, and I'm going to toss it to you first, Chandler. You can give us something.
You want me to go first?
I do want you to go
Wow.
first. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think so. The first thing that I'm grateful for, and I think probably the biggest thing in my life, honestly, is my family. I am very, very close to my family, and this includes, you know, like now, you know, I just got married a few months ago, so like the family that I'm starting with, Carly, and obviously very, very grateful for her. But then also like my parents and my extended family, and my parents have, you know, I would say they did a pretty decent job at raising me, and
They did all right.
They did all right, yeah. And they, you know, they went through a lot with me and my siblings, and they gave me everything that I have in my life, and I owe so much to them, and I, just very, very grateful for the things that my family has given me. So there's almost too much to even say.
Oh,
but
absolutely. I mean, that's something like, you know, I think we can all generally say is like our family's one of the biggest and most influential things that's ever happened to us.
Yeah.
Right? You know, and especially as you get older, you know, you are still around your family a lot on a daily basis because you're from Utah. But like BDOTES, you and me aren't. You know, we don't get to see our family all the time. You're seeing some of yours more often now because you got the kid and everything too, so you get to see them. But like, you know, I maybe get to see my parents twice a year. Yeah. You know, and it's like,
which that would be hard. Like for me, I feel like that would be hard.
It's,
you know?
yeah. I mean, it's different, you know. But like, you don't realize a lot. Like for me, especially, like you don't realize like what your parents mean to you until like you stop having them around all the time. You know, obviously you got phone, you can talk to them basically whenever. But like, you know, they're not making your meals every night. You know, and like that's, you know, there's something to be said for good parents, and just make sure they all know that we are grateful for them.
Yes, absolutely.
So, BDOTES, over to you, brother.
Well, I would be remiss if I did not say I was grateful for my wife, obviously. She lets me go out on these trips and stays home and watches Brooks, and can't be more grateful than what I am right now. So,
no,
yeah.
and I'll like second that too, because, you know, you've been out with us all the time, and, you know, when we were up in Idaho earlier this year, I don't know if she told you, but I sent her a video.
Yep, she showed me it.
Like I made a little video. I was like, hey, like Mrs. BDOTES, like just want to make sure you know, like we're super grateful for you for letting him come, and like that's a big thing. You know, we talk a lot too. A lot of people we know, like they're married, they got kids, just like you, BDOTES. It's like, you know, they're not like me anymore. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. You know, I don't answer to anyone except my mom. But I don't answer to anyone. I don't have to ask permission. You know, I don't got to check plans with anyone. And like, you know, you've been in this boat now for a while, and you were just getting into this now. And it's like,
right. Like every invitation, it's like, let me check with the boss.
Exactly. You know, it's like, say like with the studio, right? It's like, hey, we want to, you know, hopefully do this in your basement. It's like, but it's one thing, like, yeah, you were okay with it, but like, we got to ask her too.
Right.
And like, you know, I am grateful for your wife as well for letting us do a lot of this stuff, and for letting you be a part of this, having us in your home whenever we're recording, around your son, all this stuff. Like, there's a lot
Yep.
there.
And even like right now, she's watching him. You could probably hear him slapping the ground as he zips around on all fours.
I think he's
but
just angry he's not on the show right now.
That's
Yeah.
probably
I think
true.
that's
I can go
probably what
get
it is.
him.
Maybe you go
maybe
get him.
next time.
I'll do mine. You can go get him if you want.
Surprise guest, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a big thing. Significant other, wife, husband, whoever you are. It's like, and it's just great to have someone like that in your life.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah.
And so, a really good thing to be grateful for. So, with me, the first one I will bring up is good health. I, like most people, I assume everyone knows what it's like to be sick or be injured, out of capacity to some degree, or just have something going on that limits you and what you want to do in life. As a former athlete, most athletes are going to understand this. Like, you roll your ankle, whatever, like takes you out of the thing you love doing the most, and that's tough for a lot of people. When I busted my knee in high school and going into college, like, I wanted to play volleyball. That was my life. But that knee injury was brutal to deal with. Not because of the pain, the physical pain, it's just like the emotional toll that takes on you. So like stuff like that. And then, I don't know if we actually talked about this on the podcast. I can't remember. But, when I moved out here, I was dealing with a heart condition too.
Yeah.
And like, that was, just wild for me to have to go through. It's totally different. But like, I was struggling to get off the couch, some days. And like, it's just a weird thing. But like, I had a hard time hiking when I first moved out here, and I just kind of powered through it. Maybe not the smartest thing, but like, it's stuff like that. You go through it, and then you get to a point now, like, I'm healthy, I'm trying to take care of myself more. And like, that's something that you should be grateful for, to be in a position where you feel good and that you can do whatever you want. I can go hiking whenever I want because I have no limitations, and it's something that you should take note of from time to time. Again, if you feel like you have nothing to be grateful for, if you're mad at life, like, well, you're probably in at least a decent state of health. And that's something that, just take a quick note of.
Yeah.
Like every day at work as a nurse, I see people who have illnesses that are just absolutely life altering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't wish that stuff on anyone. But like, you don't get that image every day, that reminder on a daily basis, unless you're in a profession like yours.
Yeah.
And, that's something it's like we don't think about. We only think, oh, like, my life sucks right now. It's like, well, are you walking okay? Like, we have friends, we have a friend, Chase Dolan, right? Crazy story. He fell off a fire escape in Seattle, right? Like 40 feet to the concrete.
Yeah.
Broke his knees, his back. Like, he's relearning how to walk.
This was last summer too, like summer 2022, and it's been a long process for him.
Right. And it's like, dude, like, Chase is a reminder for me. It's like, don't take what you have for granted.
Yeah.
Because this can be taken away from you at any point in time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like, following Chase and his journey, like, that's a huge inspiration to me. I know, I'm sure, I don't know how much you've interacted with him at all, but like it's a big inspiration and motivation to like keep in mind. It's like, hey, like, I have it good right now.
Yeah.
And I hope we can meet Chase one day. It'd be awesome to have him on the show and talk about, just, his mindset now, what he's going through.
It would be awesome to get to chat with him. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's stuff like that. Unless you have that daily reminder, like, you can easily forget like a lot of the good things you have in your life, because health is something you just overlook
Yeah.
so easily.
I have always taken my health for granted. Like, I've always been super healthy, never had any problems. And then like the last year and a half, I've had all this stuff start coming up, and now I'm like, oh wow, I really had it good, And I never really realized that. I never really thought about it. So
yeah, and it just kind of hits you hard.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, I have had it good.
Yeah.
And it's just something to take stock of.
Yeah.
It's good practice to do this on a regular basis.
Yeah, don't wait for it to go away to realize how good it is.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Okay, we'll go round 2 here. Chandler, why don't you start us off?
I think it's tricky because I have so much that I really am grateful for. I am grateful for the opportunity, I guess, that I have to just live where I live, I guess, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's a great one. I
Yeah.
feel that too.
Yeah.
I mean, understandably, because I'm from the Midwest,
Yeah.
but I feel that.
Yeah, but I mean, I obviously we live in Utah, And I couldn't be more grateful to live here. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I mean, not even just for like the access to national parks and to like all these cool places. There's so much cool stuff to do here, and there's so many like I love the people, and everything's just I love living here. So, and I've always felt that I've always been so grateful for that. So
Yeah. Well, it's great to like to have a place that you just feel like it's where you belong.
yeah,
You know, like that's a huge thing. You know, when I was coaching and in the volleyball world, you know, that's one of the aspects of that career is you're a lot of times bouncing around to places every 2-3 years, just getting a new gig, trying to move up in the ladders, you know, just part of the way it is. And to me, I was like, I don't want to do that.
yeah, that doesn't sound fun. Yeah,
You know, and it's like, I want to just like settle down somewhere,
yeah,
you know, and find a group of people like we have, whatever, you know, like
yeah.
that's a real thing. And to find somewhere you truly love. And, you know, I love being in Fort Wayne, and it came to a time like, you know, I don't know, it's time to leave.
Yeah.
And, you know, COVID helped accelerate that. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
that's a big thing. You know,
Yeah.
we've all kind of settled here in Utah a little bit. You know, Courtney's in a van, so she doesn't quite get that.
Yeah.
But-
But well, I mean, she shows back up here quite a bit. So
I don't know why. I don't know why. She just tells me she's coming in and she expects to stay with me. So,
Yeah.
but no, yeah, finding a spot you feel like, you know, is home is it's a great thing for
Yeah.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, BDOTES, over to you, my man.
So mine is the exact same as Chandler's.
Well, how about that? Expound upon this for us.
Here we go.
So Bethany and I, we moved from Indiana, so I feel
Great
the Midwest
place.
thing.
Great place.
Yeah, it's great if you love seeing corn.
Corn on the cob.
Yeah.
Soybeans.
But yeah, I felt like on my days off, I was just sitting at home doing nothing. I'm like, I'm just bored. I don't know what to do. We ended up moving out here, and yeah, days off, I go hiking. I'm back home by 1 p.m. It's just a whole new,
It's almost like there's too much to do out here.
right. It's like, what am I going to do today?
Yeah.
Instead of, what am I going to do today?
Yeah.
You're like trying to limit it down rather than make the list.
Right. And like that, I mean, right there, like, you know, you have the same thing, so we can kind of pick and like something even like smaller, like having a list of activities and options to choose from, and having to have to, you know, narrow that down to pick something, as opposed to just trying to find one thing to add to your list. Like, I'm grateful for that too. Like, that's an incredible thing to have in your life. It's like, where do we want to go? Like, we have so many options of places that we could go to, and like, that's a blessing. You know, not again, speaking as someone who lived in the Midwest for 26 years, you don't have that same kind of thing. You know, it's like, oh, we go to that bar, we go to town, we go to the other town,
Go to the other bar.
the other bar, the other bar in the other town. It's like there's just not as much to do, you know. But here, you just have a plethora of options, and it's something. It's almost like the paralysis by like options or whatever it is. Like you just have. It's like, oh, what am I going to do? I have so many things to choose
Yeah.
from. It's like, but that's a great thing to have.
Well, and it's like, I don't really like going to the gym, so I'd rather go hike 7 or 8 miles
Yeah,
rather
yeah.
than just be inside pumping iron.
Yeah, well, like there's another thing. It's like living in a spot like this, having activities like that, basically just be like the normal thing here. It's like, in a way, it's like you have chosen to be in a place that's going to help take care of you and your health.
Yeah.
Like it all comes together like that, you know? And it's a really great thing. And again, a lot of people like would overlook that really quickly.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just something like, can't stress enough. Take the time to just take a step back and see where you're at. Take stock of what you got in life. And
Yeah.
they're all great things.
Yeah. I mean, not to hit on this, don't take things for granted note again, but I mean,
You can't do it too much, honestly. You can't.
Yeah.
So
But like, don't for people who live, because I was like this for a long time. I mean, I grew up 15 minutes out of Zion National Park, and I almost never went. And I did the same thing with living here, just, you know, in northern Utah as well. Like, I didn't really realize how great it was until I went to the South. And I went to South Carolina, and I lived in South Carolina for 7 months. And I remember specifically, actually, one time I was texting my mom, and it had like snowed here. and she was like, "Look at all this snow we got," and she like sent me a picture of Mount Timpanogos, and I was like, "Holy crap!" I'd never realized how just beautiful this place is, how great Utah is, and ever since then, I was like, "Man, I can't take this for granted." So
I think still every time I'm driving up I-15, I'm always looking at the Wasatch.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
Dude, I
I do too. Yeah,
I drive to Park City for work every day. I'm going up Parley's Canyon, whether it's in the summer, the fall, or the winter. You know, I kid you not. Every single day, I'm looking through that range. I'm like, this is a stunning drive.
Yeah.
This is my work commute. Back at home, it's like, oh, I'm just driving 30 minutes through some cornfields to work, and it's like, it's not the same.
Yeah.
Here and
and past all 3 bars aforementioned.
there, yeah, he's right about that one. But it's like, you know, it's the little things like that. You
Yeah.
know, I never thought my work commute would take me through the mountains.
Yeah.
Every single day.
You know, it's funny. A couple years ago, I was in I was attending a Army course just out on Camp Williams in Lehigh, and there's a bunch of guys who came in from out of state. I was like the only person from Utah. There was like 30, 40 people from out of state, and there were these 2 guys from North Dakota. And
Great state.
Yeah, great state. But they were standing out. I mean, they're middle of nowhere, and we're standing out in Lehigh, and it's on the opposite side of the valley from Mount Timpanogos. And we're standing out there, and they're just like looking at. They're like, "Dude, you really live here?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "This is like a painting. Like, how is this real?" So,
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. You can't come here, actually. We're all fake.
Yeah. It's the
But,
Matrix.
like I had that same experience. Like when I first came here, I moved to Utah without ever being here, without seeing photos of Salt Lake. I was
is crazy
I was
that
just
you
like,
did
yeah,
that.
I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna choose Salt Lake. And when I came through what is now my work commute on the way into town for the very first time, and I hit out through like that gap, partly just getting into the valley, I looked around like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
I was like, this is my home now. I was like, I basically live in the mountains.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, again, after 26 years in the Midwest where there's a couple hills, it's like now life is just dramatically changed.
Do you see? Do you follow? What's his last name? Mike Dowell or something? He's living with Scott Osborne.
Right.
Now. He had the same thing on his story. Now he was taking a video of the Wasatch. He's like, "This is my bed." He just moved here today.
Yeah.
At the time of this recording, he had a video on his Instagram story saying like, "This is my backyard." And he moved from the Midwest, like
Yeah.
Ohio, I think.
Yeah.
So
No, it's a real thing, Mike. I feel you, man. Like when you come here for the first time, you're like, wow, this is impressive. I remember when I was walking out of Target for the first time on 300 West. I walked out and I'm like, there's just amazing mountains right in front of me.
Yeah.
Like this is different. You know, like you don't get this back at home.
yeah,
And like again, it's those little things. It's like you don't like again, if you live here a lot, it's like you don't necessarily like think about that because you're just used to them being there. The
Yeah.
mountains aren't going anywhere,
yeah, no,
and so you're just used to. Oh yeah, I'm coming out of the store. I'm just going home. It's like every time I come out of the store, I'm like, oh, where are the mountains?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
look, just to take them in for a second, you know. And like that's, it's just I don't know. It's a great thing to be more aware of. You know, gratitude itself is just something that's going to change your life.
Yeah.
You know, like I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, me neither.
So we'll get into one more thing here. I got something we'll share, and this is kind of a way to wrap everything up, and you know, but that is to kind of say like I am grateful for like the little family that we've built with Bushwhackers, obviously our entire community. But I'm even talking a little bit more like tighter knit too, like this team that we have. You know, like BDOTES, like you, your family, your kid. Like you know, we got you and Carly. Like you know, Courtney's here. You know, I consider her part of, you know, our close group too. Like there's a lot of these people that, you know, are good, close friends that we've all met through Instagram, ironically enough. But like,
Even Carly met on the internet.
exactly, you know, but it's like, we have this group, Sydney, you know, Wyatt, like these people who are like really a part of what we do and, you know, believe in this, want to help out, you know, let us into their basement to record a podcast. Like,
Yeah,
that means a lot, especially, you know, for people like you and me who started this and trying to build this into something. Like, it means a lot to have people like you, BDOTES, that
Yeah.
want to help us with that, you know? Sydney's the same way. You know, like, there's a lot to this that, you know, we may not say it all the time, but, like, I can assure you, like, I recognize that every single day. It's like, this is this is important to us. And to have this little core group of people, like it means something.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, it's, you mentioned family before, like bloodline family, like that's amazing. But like, there's also the aspect of the family that you choose to be with.
Yeah.
And it's something you just can't take lightly. We're not true uncles to your kid, but like when he grows up, I hope we can go out and take him out and do stuff and have fun. And
That's the plan.
exactly. Like little Brooksy did, we're going to have so much fun. And like, it's a cool thing to kind of be developing and seeing, hopefully, again, if we can all stay together through 10 years, 15 years, like it's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
And it's just something that we need to, not every single day necessarily, but like every once in a while, be like, this is amazing that we have something like this. Because
Yeah.
not everyone has this.
Yeah. Nope.
People are kind of searching for this stuff, but not everyone can so easily make it like how we've kind of stumbled into. It's just it's a great thing.
Yep.
So
It's changed my life.
yeah, I mean, it's changed my life for the worse because I got to deal with you all the time. But just want to take that back. This is getting a little too sentimental
Yeah.
here. So
I was about to cry, but whew,
yeah.
thank goodness.
Any closing words? Anything at all?
There's nothing else I'm grateful for.
No. I know BDOTES is grateful for nothing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I just totally made those other
Yeah.
two things up. So
He retracts those right
he's-
now.
Yeah.
yeah,
But I thought maybe you'd be grateful for me not interrupting you as much this episode.
I was grateful for that.
You were going some good lines. I was like, I'm going to let him run today. It's we're in a cheerful spirit here. So
I saw you give a little smirk at one point.
yeah,
and
I was like,
he's got something.
I
But
bit my tongue.
Yeah.
It's this episode. We're gonna let you have your moment.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
all right. So today, to wrap this whole thing up, every episode we are adding something to the back of the table. Just have a little fun with, hopefully you guys at home, if you guys want to send us something, we'd love to feature something on the table from you, especially if it's a small little trinket. And that's actually exactly what we're going to do today. We don't have something from the three of us. We have an item from Courtney herself because she's here today and she was so generous to donate something to us. Now, you guys have no idea what this is.
Do you know?
Oh, yeah, I have it right here with me.
Oh, okay.
But
you had to make sure it was appropriate.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, knowing Courtney, you just have no idea what this is going to be. But so today, Courtney has decided she is going to gift us this little llama.
I knew it.
Yeah, I don't know how well you can see this here, but it's just a little llama doll. It's cute.
That is so cool.
Thank you, Courtney. But yeah, I thought it'd be fun if we could use this from her today for this episode because kind of everything we talked about, being
Yeah.
grateful for this little community, this family we've built, and it was fitting.
I like it. Yeah.
I thought so. Every time we have this up here, we see it, we can think of Courtney and how we're grateful to have her in our lives.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
The big question is, does he have a name? Or she?
no name. So
We may have to vote on this.
we're gonna have to have a little poll online here. If you're watching this video or listening to it, you can suggest a name.
Yeah.
So we'll have to take care of that at some point. Hopefully you remember to do that because I could see us forgetting.
I could too. Yeah.
But keep that in mind too. So we're gonna add this to the table here today. We're gonna put it right next to the hat. Oh, it's gonna stand up perfectly,
Look at that.
peeking right in the middle.
Look at that.
Awesome. Well, I think that's all we got for today.
Yeah.
Again, just a reminder, take stock of what you got in life. There's never a bad time to do that. But even especially if you're feeling down, like it's a great thing to do. Gratitude is something that's going to just change the way you live. It's going to change your brain. It's going to change the way you process the world.
Yeah.
It's just one of the most powerful things that you're ever going to go through if you can commit to doing it on a regular basis. I've never been happier in my life, and I attribute that largely to gratitude.
Yeah.
It's just something that I can't understate, how impactful it's going to be if you can try to do more of it.
Yeah. I really can't either. I mean, it really has made me it has made my entire life, feel as good as it does. So
Yeah, you're going to sleep better. You're going to have less stress. There's just so many great benefits, that you're going to see the world in a new light. And, the colors that make up the world, you're just going to see all of them for what they are. And it's going to be beautiful.
Yep.
And it's something that I hope you can experience, So I think with that, we're going to end the show unless BDOTES has one last comment.
I was just going to say, if you have somebody specific, just shoot them a text. Be like, I'm grateful for you. It'll make their day.
Absolutely.
I like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've never done it for Chandler, and I
Neither
don't know if
have
I ever
I.
will.
I probably won't either. But
Nobody's grateful for me.
Nope.
But no, that's a great thing. I think that's a challenge for today. We're going to leave the episode. If you're watching or listening, shoot someone a text or give them a call and tell them that you're grateful for them.
Yep.
It's a great thing you do. It's a great way to build relationships. So go do that. Yeah, and enjoy Thanksgiving. I mean, that's what we're doing this episode for.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We can't forget that. So go enjoy Thanksgiving. Hope you can be with family. Eat some good turkey, some mashed potatoes. I personally love stuffing. Stuffing's my jam.
So do I. Yeah.
Oh, God, I don't want to share that with you, but yeah, go enjoy Thanksgiving. Have a great time, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Bye.